This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
All right, so how many business owners do we have in here? Oh, that's perfect. That's a good turnout. Okay, so how many creative professionals / freelancers do we have in here? Awesome. Okay, great. So I was having a great conversation with a buddy of mine, and he was telling me, Larry, I got it. I figured out a way to make all 9 of my systems and all 9 of my tools that I've been using work together. And through that conversation that me and him were having, he was telling me like that, man, I don't have anything else that works to my advantage as a creative professional. I work with my projects, I work with my invoices, I work with my relationships, but I'm using 9 different things to make that work in harmony just so I can pay my bills, because I'm a full-time creative now. Like, I have people that depend on me. I have a son, I have a wife. So in that conversation, I stopped him somewhere like midway, halfway, because sometimes I can be a little rude within the conversation. I was like, man, if you've been using those 9 tools to get your business off the ground as a creative professional, boy, do I have a tool for you. And that's Kanari, your bird's eye view for your creative professional business. So what Kanari does is it really understands the point that as a creative professional, your projects, your relationships, and your invoices are really intertwined. So instead of using, for example, like a PayPal, and then hopping into a Trello or hopping into a Jira, where you can add those integrations in there, but they don't really actually work as as a true professional flow needs to work, Kanari actually combines all those and put those into a flow that actually makes running the business actually easier for a creative. So they can focus on the thing that they really want to do, which is the creative part. So, and that's the problem that we're looking to solve. And our ask is relationships with people that have experience within the creative realm as a profession, and our goals towards raising around $150,000 for our seed round.
So good job. So on the one hand, I liked your somewhat informal presentation style. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, I think you took maybe a little more time than would have been ideal to get to what it is that Kanari does, right? The challenge with 2 minutes is it goes by really quickly, right? And the origin stories can be very helpful, but you do need to be a little bit careful about taking too long to draw us in and get to, because you were probably halfway through before I knew what it was that you did.
When you said what Kanari does, there were 50 seconds left.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, and like, at that point, I was like, yeah, right, tell me. That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So the good news is, once you told us what it does, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, I would have liked to have gotten, and maybe you can now tell us, and this was a question for last people, is where are you in terms of having a product ready? Is it just an idea right now? Are people using it? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So I have the mic right here, yeah. So a little backstory on myself. I'm a software engineer, music producer, and a songwriter. So it sounds like a lot. So I started within music. Then I saw there was a need for more ways to connect with other artists and other creators. So I hopped into software engineering, created a platform called Music Links. And at that point, we were able to generate 36,000 experiences with users. Well, not experiences, sorry. We have 36,000 plus using our platform now on our Music Links. After actually doing research and development with that demo, we actually found that the creative part was the easy part. When it came down to actually running your business and managing the creative business side of things, that's where they lacked that. And instead of wanting to pursue that thing, since that ground is so unknown, they just tend to step back from it, and just turn to the creative part. Let somebody else manage it. So what we're really trying to do is actually help them, become better business creatives at the same time. Kind of merging those two.
So you have 36,000 users right now?
Yes, of my music, of my creative, my creative discovery platform. And it's because we use that demo to actually find out, hey, what's your true pain point? Yes, there's a SoundCloud already out here. Yes, there's other tools that you're using, but what's something that we can really help you with? And they say like, hey, well, we lack in the business part of things.
Right. Okay. So almost everybody who comes here does not have 36,000 users when they get here, right? And so I'd like the distinction you drew about who these users are and everything. Like, I'm not 100% clear that I appreciate exactly what that means, but dude, you got to say, I got 36,000 users on the initial platform right now, right? Because that's pretty, that's pretty great, right? There's a lot of people it's going to take them a long time to get there, right? Now I'm going to compare heating and cooling contractors to musicians. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my company, we sell principally to contractors who come to people's houses, right? And there's a way in which they're very similar to your target audience. There's a craft that they're great at, and it's called fixing your plumbing or fixing your air conditioner. And then there's a craft that they're not as good at, which is called business, invoicing, accepting a payment, that kind of stuff, okay? And our software bridges that gap for them, right? And when they use it, they love us. They really do love us, because the part that they're good at, they love doing it, and the part that they're not so good at, it's hard for them. And when a tool can help them, they willingly give us money in exchange, right? The hard part about getting to those people is that market is so fragmented, right? There's 700,000 heating and cooling guys in the United States, companies, right? How many creative professionals do you think there are in the world? How many do you think there are? Like, how many businesses are there that you could go after?
I guess the best way to explain this. So there's a select few of professional, like if you think about the music industry, big name peoples, right? So the way we wanted to position it was not only support those people, but support like the lone freelancers.
So a small population of pros, a big population of freelancers.
Yes.
Okay. So I have two questions, right? Do the freelancers have money that they will spend on software, right? And how are you going to get to them?
So our target demo is music creators or music professionals that have taken that leap and have been successful. So looking at that, there's music creators that I know of that I've had conversations with that make well over $1,500 a month, that takes care of their bills, and up to $10,000 a month. But those are the same ones that really struggle with really wanting to take their business to that next level. And also there's the lower level person, not necessarily the lower level, but the person that really wants to, they're starting out and they have that traction, but now everything is starting to pick up, and they don't know really where to go after that. It was funny because in the beginning of this, I was having a conversation with, my videographer buddy that's kind of ducking and running right now, but he was saying that, after I was explaining what we do as a platform, he was like, man, wow, I kind of really need that too. Kind of like what you said for the heating and cooling industry. So our first vertical is music creators, but we look to expand into other creative professionals. Professions.
It would be great if, when you answer that question, if you could say numbers of how big are those populations?
Okay.
Right, because I have no idea, right? And maybe there's 10 million, maybe there's 100,000, that as a prospective investor, right? If you can say there are N in this population and X in this population, and here's why I believe that, right? That'll really strengthen your argument for getting money from the investor.
Okay, great.
Okay, right? The size of the market.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm not going to be as nice as Chris here, so good cop, bad cop. So the last two questions he's asked you, I have not heard the answer to.
Okay.
So is this product released?
No. So we're in development. Okay, sorry.
No. Is that what the $150,000 is going towards?
Yes, development and research, yes.
Okay, so that would have been good to say in the 2-minute pitch to understand, is this out there yet? Does it work?
And you can just say, I'm pre-product.
Right.
Okay.
Right? And that's, people understand what that means.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
And so your target, I think we did get to, your target user base initially is musicians, correct?
Yes.
And that's just the beachhead, because it's other creative professionals. And and I think Chris was asking a really good question, because with all these fragmented markets, one big question is, how do you get to them? What is your thinking on how they find your product? Is it through this initial kind of demo connection product that you already have, or is that just one way?
One of the channels. So what I do is I live within the communities that these people are. So, for example, on the numbers, I'm a part of, I want to say, 4 or 5 different Facebook groups where either 10,000 plus or 100,000 music creators in there. Discussing every day that I wake up, I'm basically living what the product is going to serve. So all of these people are within the groups of what 10, at minimum. We're looking at roughly like at minimum 100 million. Well, not, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, like a million. Yeah. You know, but well within that range. Right. Sorry.
That's cool. So, and then you're going to charge money for this software, yeah? Do you have an idea about pricing?
Yes, pricing. We're looking at $14.99
a month.
Your solo entrepreneur, solo professional, sorry. And then from there, going all the way to enterprise, where you have like a large scale studio that might have 20 professionals under them.
Right. Okay. So there were a couple people in the room who raised their hand when we did the "Are you a creative freelancing musical kind of person?" Is anyone brave enough to raise their hand in that environment? Okay. Okay. All right. So how do y'all feel about $15 a month for what Larry's describing? Why don't you go? Yeah. Hey. So here's the thing. Mike, the videographer, wants you to stand up, and Larry, he wants you to hand this guy the microphone.
Okay, great, yeah.
Mike, the videographer, is very high maintenance. He's texting me a lot, telling me what to do.
Hi guys, my name is Miguel. I create virtual tours, so I'm a creative professional. Personally, I would spend that money for this kind of service, but I don't see why I wouldn't use something more mainstream like QuickBooks in my invoice needs, or another platform that I'm already using. So, I mean, what I'm trying to understand is, why should I use this particular service as opposed to one that it's already out there?
Yeah. Larry, what about Miguel's question? No, that's a perfect question. So, from my understanding, like we don't really want to take you from the things that you already use, right? So QuickBooks is great, right? PayPal is great. What we want to do is start to really not only know what Miguel likes to do, but create an experience around Miguel's actual skill and help Miguel flourish in being a creative. So if you create tours, like just being able to have manage your projects right alongside of being able to have all your QuickBooks information right in front of you. To me, yeah, go for it.
Are you saying that this platform is something like a tool, like a Asana, like a task management tool with?
Yes. So you have your invoicing, you have your file management, and you also have your project management and your task management as well in one place.
Because the website talks about project management.
Yes.
Yeah. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm a jazz musician.
Awesome.
It's all right.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, listen. I've decided I'm gonna ignore Mike's harassment. All right.
All right. So I grew up as a jazz musician.
Hmm?
Jazz musician is the perfect freelance market for that. My biggest pain point: I need a pipeline, and I need to manage that pipeline. I need to hustle. I need to get as quickly as possible from craft to cash. And I don't want to mess with all the integration and all that stuff. I need somebody to help me turn my passion into my pipeline, right? How fast can you help me do that? And how much can I expect, how soon?
We're launching at tail end of August, and after that, you can, in a sense, I can help you now, basically, meaning that I can sit down with you, understand your flow, and actually explain to you how we're going to help your business and how you take your jazz musicianship to the next level in peace. That's how I can help you now. But we're launching in the tail end of August. But I would love to get your information so we can help you and get the ball rolling.
Thank you.
By the way, I think turn your passion into your pipeline should go on the, that should go on the list of possible taglines, right? So I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Are you a sole founder of this company?
Yes.
Is there anybody else?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I'd be interested in John's input on this. It is really hard to be a sole founder. It's really hard.
Yeah, I know.
And most of the really successful companies have a couple people at the beginning. And I think that I would encourage you to think about that, because my sense is that you're a creator. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that your life would be a lot easier and the company would do really well if you had like a sales guy with you.
Yeah.
Or a saleswoman, like a
Yeah,
salesperson.
yeah.
We had the earlier guys, we sort of had the missionary guy and the guy from the
Yeah.
sales guy, right? And it was easy to not confuse them, right? You knew which one was which. And I think that would be something that in the 10-year view of your enterprise,
Yeah.
that might help you. What do you think of that, John?
Yeah, I think 2 is always better than 1. So, yeah, divide and conquer. Yep. Yep. Good job. Thank you.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.